Hi guys, so today I have these two stamp sets to share with you that Spellbinders has just brought to their website for their July releases. I did a whole kind of unboxing of the items that I have of the new July releases. So I talked about these in that video. We'll go over them again because it's just these two items, but I did, talk about some of the other collections. I think there are like 10 or 11 new collections this month. So I'll have linked all the new releases. It'll just say like all new July releases, and then a link there for you guys in the US and the UK. They'll be in the description box. Those will be affiliate links, which I'll make a small commission for your purchase items through those links. Along with that, they are having a Christmas in July kind of sale for like the past Christmas in July sets, or just like Christmas related sets. So if there was one that you missed before, you want to grab now at I think 50% off or whatever it might be, I'll have that linked also. So the link will go right to the sale, so you guys can check those things out. And so we'll just get right to it. So these items were sent free of charge from my review, and of course all opinions are my own. And so these are super cool. So I want to say these are probably about 6-inch square. Does it say on here? It is not, but let me measure it here. Yeah, they're roughly, I would say, maybe 5 7/8 inch or so, right? The actual cling foam. Really cool, good stuff. It's basically a rubber stamp, and we know rubber stamps are the best stamps. So a lot of times people are familiar with the red rubber, but these are gray, and it's the same stuff. Well, at least it is in my opinion. It works the same. Really nice big stamp. So this one actually comes apart here. So there are 4 new backgrounds. These are the 2 that I have to share with you guys. So this is the binding leaf. Is that what it's called? It's called Leafy Lines is actually what it's called. It says 2 peel and cling stamps because, again, this one comes apart that way. So if you want to use just the area and kind of leaves a little space open for maybe your sentiment, it's really cute. And do a full background, maybe just take this piece and make your own kind of, corner stamping or however. So it's really inventive and really sweet. Just a little detail there that helps you do that. And then this guy is the streamers. And again, roughly about 5 7/8 inch or so square. But this one has 3 stamps, so it comes apart in a way that you can use this by itself, or just leave it all together. Use this guy by itself, leave it open so it's just this. Just lots of ways to play with that. If you don't have something that helps you stamp such a large stamp, a lot of times with something like this, I would just leave it on the carrier just the way it is. Ink it up, bring your paper, obviously the face of the paper down, and just smooth your hands over to make sure it's stamped. So I'll just show you guys how to do that. I think this day and age pretty much everyone has a stamp positioner or something larger that'll help you do that, but I'll do that so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And so let me just grab some papers. I'll probably do something very similar to this, just ink it up in some different colors on this one, and then this one we'll color in somehow, probably with water-based markers or something like that. So let me grab, I did bring out some watercolor paper already. Some stuff I had in my stash, but I do know that Spellbinders has some really great watercolor paper. If you're already shopping, you might just want to grab some while you're there. But this is just an A2 piece of cold pressed watercolor paper. Let's not get too fancy about it. Don't worry about that, like cold press and all that. Watercolor paper. For this one, and this one I'm just going to use white paper, so I'm going to cut down some paper. And, well, does it have to be white? It doesn't have to be white, does it? I'll probably still do white because I am going to do a mix of colors, but it can be on anything. I'll be right back. So for this one, I will start with this guy. I'm just going to make a 4x6 card, just so you have an idea of what it might look like with a card that's a little bit different than A2. You do 5x7, all that. But I thought it'd be good for 4x6, so why not? So if you're making your own card base that's going to be 4x6, you're going to want a piece of paper that is 8x6. So in this direction, I'm just going to do the 6 inches. This is A2 size paper. So 6 inches in this direction, and then I'm going to cut off 1/2 inch on the other side. So that way it's 8x6, and then we'll score it at 4 inches. And score it at 4 right here. Oh, okay, there we go. And again, I apologize, my hand is completely beat up. I burned it and cut it literally like an hour between both of those things. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you have a Sprouts, the grocery store Sprouts in your area, but we love Sprouts. And they always have like these meal kits. They're kind of like dinner things you just saute and then, add rice or put it on noodles or something like that. So I usually do that. I have my wok ready and I heated it up and I went to dump in the thing, and usually I'm more careful, but I was like, oh, I just wanted to dump them in, and it just like splashed up, and I didn't realize it burned me that badly. I just felt like some little things, and then the next morning I was like, oh, that looks horrible. So, just be more careful. Things like that. So sorry, the card base is there. I am going to do a matte layer because I think just to give more oomph to the card, you can definitely just do the background and have that, but if you want just a little more detail, I'm going to go ahead and take something like this, and let's do 3 7/8. My goodness. Oh, I guess I'll go this way. I usually cut up. It just makes it better, but 3 7/8 by 5 7/8. And then I am going to stamp on white paper, and so I'm going to make it 1/8 of an inch all around smaller than that piece. So we have this piece still from our card base, and so let's go 5 3/4. Oh, don't move it. Want it nice and straight. 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. I always try to preserve the one area where it was already cut by the factory, so like this line, so I'm just going to turn that, or edge, should I say, by 3 3/4. Okay, so we have all these things that we can use at a later date. Something like this I would just throw away, but these other pieces, and actually might even matte layer our sentiment, or maybe not, I don't know, we'll see. So this is definitely like a birthday kind of card. Okay, and let me grab some inks and I'll be right back. I was thinking some kind of like rainbowy color, just so it, you know, we'll see. Something like that. I'm just trying to see where I want to stamp. Again, I mean, it can be on this side too. I'll just stamp on this area just to show you, even though it's broken up, it's like one stamp. So we'll do that. I just have some red, orange, yellow. I will say you probably want to do a pouncing motion, because if you go like this, and that's a really cool thing, it'll, see that little strip, the way it's like stripy? That will show up, which is cool, but I don't really want that for today. So I'm just going to dab, dab, dab. A good wide area, because I don't really know. I mean, I have a good eye for things like this, but like, yeah, I mean, that's basically there. So about there. Ooh, I don't really want to mix my yellow too much with the red, but I will a little bit. If anything, I probably should have put the yellow down first and then brought the red in. Well, I have to wipe that away. Yellow, and then some blue. Again, I'm just kind of pouncing, getting whiter and whiter as I get down here. And then purple, because why not? And we'll just make a nice background. Again, I'm just doing it this way so you can see that you don't have to have a big precision thing. And then I'm just breathing on it to reactivate it just in case it dried while I was doing these other colors. And you're going to carefully just place this down. And you can run your hand over it. I was going to say, if you have a stamping like chuck or whatever those things are called, you can definitely do that. But I think if you have this, you probably have a precision thing, right? So to me, I just use my hands, to be honest. I just kind of make sure everything's touching. Get this very edge over here. Make sure we're touching down here. And I mean, you can pick it up carefully a little bit at a time, but that's pretty good. A little squishy down here, but that's about it. Okay, let me wash. I'm gonna wipe this off. I'm gonna wash my hands because I got ink on somewhere. I saw it, I guess there. I'll be right back. Wipe that off, honestly, with just a towel with a little bit of water. It was a hybrid ink I used. So anyway, that's just how I take care of or use my rubber stamps. There's definitely rubber stamp cleaner. I don't think you need to invest in anything like that. Just wipe it off. It'll be fine. And okay, so we'll put this way. And you know what? I did this card portrait mode, but I suppose you could also stamp landscape if you wanted with this, because you just go across the other way and it works perfectly. You know, stamp it this way so that the stuff is coming down this way, and it works real well. Again, it's roughly, you know, just under 6 inches square, so there's lots of projects you can use that on. And we'll get like a little sentiment on this in a second, but I mean, that's just a fast card. It looks really pretty and cute, and I really like that. So there it is. All right, let's stamp the leaf stamp, and this time I'll use the stamp positioners just so you see different ways of doing that. Let's see here. I'm trying to think what I want to use. I'll just use a hybrid ink. But your better press ink, like this kind of thing, it's archival ink. Excuse me, this is archival ink, so you can definitely use it with water-based things. It's waterproof. You can use a hybrid ink. You can use like VersaFine. You probably want to heat set it. That's also a good one to use when you're using water-based things. Should we use this one just because? Yeah, why not? Since we're talking about Spellbinders and you're picking up stuff there, you can grab that too. Alright. So, you know, funny enough, I don't know that I need to stick this. I guess I will. That's the whole point, right? And maybe I'm going to remove this piece. And I'm just going to put this on here in a place where it's going to stay. Alright, there. Oh, you know what? No, maybe this way. Obviously I can rotate my paper however I want. I want this area to be blank so that the sentiment would be like over here. I don't know that I've tried this with cling stamps this thick. Let's see how it does. Maybe I did. I'm going to put a little piece of tape down here because that's where it's not going to touch, and then maybe there. Otherwise, let's go ahead and just ink this guy up. Again, rubber stamps will take any ink. Water, oh, I shouldn't have put so much there. Water-based inks, anything, it doesn't matter. Let's see here. Yeah, re-ink my pad there, I think. So that piece of watercolor paper is already 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I probably will trim it down. I wasn't even thinking about that. Like, you know, I like things to look a little organic. So I didn't, in my mind, think about putting my paper where I would want it, really. I just put it in the corner. My goodness, my allergies have, like, my throat's so dry, so, like, I can't speak very well. I have to keep pausing because I don't want to say anything because it sounds horrible. Okay. Very good. Alright, so I'm going to let that set up. I will say I saw a big bubble right here. I don't know if you can see that. Sometimes if there's a big bubble, it'll be like impossible to stamp that. It just will not stamp. So if you see that and it's a problem, just kind of let the bubble the air out and then lay it back down, okay? I'm going to clean that off and I'll be right back. Actually, I'm going to clean it off with this archival ink cleaner. Otherwise, I mean, just wipe it down, guys. You know. Yes, I say take care of your stamps. I have stamps that are easily 30 years old, you know, and they're just fine, so it's okay. But anyway, I'll use this and wipe it off and I'll be back. I will say I used that same archival cleaner to clean this off of here because it was just kind of moving around. So, alright, let me grab a little bit of some, I don't know, greens and browns maybe? I'll be right back. So this is watercolor paper, so you know it's going to take this really well. You can do wet on wet, but that'd be hard to control, especially when you have leaves that you probably want to just color in the way they are. You know me, I just like to put down some color. I'm only using one color of green and one color or one shade of brown, like no big deal. Now you can go in and actually like put the color down. What I would do is start in the center, because to me that's where the darkest color would be. You can also put this on the very side like this and pick it up with your water brush, right? The color, however you want to use it, it'll be great. I'm just trying to get this water going. There we go. Oh, is this a bluish green? That's it. I was not expecting that, but you know what? That works for me. That's pretty. So anyway, I'm just spreading the color out from the very center out to the tips. And it doesn't even have to be like completely colored. Just make it a little more artsy, right? And maybe some of these other ones we start doing in a little brown. Maybe they're turning color. I don't know. I just think this is really pretty. I love that blue-green. Wow. So these markers are just some markers I've had in my stash for a long time. They're Studio Light. It says Pine Forest. Interesting. Okay, so I'm just going to continue doing that, essentially, and I'll be right back. because it's essentially the same thing I kept doing. Really pretty. I did get a little here, and I like the way that looks, that little dot. But I can either put some water or get rid of it, or I can do it more. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put down some color. I probably didn't need to put that in that much. Get this really watery and just flick it. You know? Maybe not too watery. That might have been a little too much. Yeah. Something like that. Okay. So I'm going to let that dry. I can hit it with the heat tool either way. But I'll be back. Okay, just hit it with the heat tool. I think it's pretty dry. I'm going to go ahead and cut a little bit of this off on this side. Let's do 4 by 5 1/4. So take a 1/4 inch off of here, 1/4 inch or so off of there. Okay, I'll be right back. I have that 4 and 5 1/4. I'm going to do this piece 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So I'll be right back. Just a matte layer. Okay guys, so I have some layers here. I'm going to go ahead and stick this to this only because this is a little bit warped, you know, from heat setting it and the water and all that. So I want it to really flatten out, and then I'll just stamp a sentiment on this one. And that's kind of why I left it open, but of course it could just be an open spot for, you know, your die cut sentiment or something else that, yeah, however you want to add your sentiment on there. My goodness, I saw this, it was, yeah, like however you want to add your sentiment on there. And my voice just went right out. Okay, so I'm going to let that set up for a moment. I'm not going to stick it to this yet because I do want to stamp that. And I'll probably use a stamp positioner, although I like to do things freehand. You know how I do. But I went through this little bag of cuties that I have from... It's been a while. I always come to this and I just dig out whatever it is I think works for my cards, you know. This is from a Better Press Plate review that I did a little while ago. And, I mean, I have just all kinds of sentiments on there in different colors. So I did pull these two. Both of these, I love both of these. I mean, even for this one, happy birthday, look at that. Maybe more of a card for, you know, more masculine card. I mean, I pulled out this happy anniversary. I mean, that works on this too, right? I mean, actually, I didn't even think of that. I like the happy anniversary, but then I saw this happy birthday and it's on gray with blue. I thought it's cute, so why not? So I'll put some dimensionals on the back of this and just stick that down. No big deal. I'm gonna let this other one set up before, and when I come back, it'll be on a stamping press, and we will stamp our sentiment on it and put our card together. I'll be right back. So yeah, I'm just gonna take this off, stick it down. Card is done. Cute background, quick card. There you go. And then we'll have this guy. Just popping it right in the corner, so even if it moves, I'm pretty sure I know where it is. This is from the April stamp of the month, and it has "Thanks for all you do," and I think that's really sweet. Photopolymer stamps smell so good. Okay, and I'm thinking about popping it in here, so it's in between the leaves. You can still see what it says, you know, without being impeded too much. I think that's good right there. It looks pretty straight. A little higher up over here. And I'll just stamp that. I'll use black ink, but some VersaFine. I love that for sentiments. It's just really is nice and dark and just really pops. Okay, I'm gonna let that set up. I'm gonna clean this off and I'll be right back. I'm just going to go ahead and stick this down to the front of our card, and really pretty and simple and just fun. I mean, just going for it with the watercolor. I kept the colors pretty much separate in each leaf, but this one mixed right here, and I love the way that looks, so maybe next time I'll do a little more of that. If that's an oops, like you're like, oh no, I didn't want that to happen, just wipe it away. It's so easy. Watercolor is, if it's wet, and you can just wipe it and it'll come off, and then just do it again with the color you do want. Even if you have to reconstitute it, to be honest, if it's dry and you re-wet it, it'll be harder to do at that point, but anyway, it'll still do it. Alright guys, so 2 cards, again, focusing on that background, letting that do the show-stopping, right? And then just the, you know, simple sentiment on there. So thanks for watching, guys. Thank you so much, Spellbinders, for sending these items for review. I'll have the links there again to the different sales that are going on, and to the new collections, and then to all the new collections for the month. Alright guys, pictures are coming up. I'll see you at the next one. Bye now.